Welcome, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. If you're a parent, you've probably felt that creeping sense of dread when it comes to your teen's screen time, right? The late night scrolling, the sudden mood swings, the constant battles over device limits. Look, it is absolutely exhausting. But today, we're going to shift your approach entirely. We're moving away from feeling completely overwhelmed by all this digital chaos, and we're moving toward empowering your teen with true digital agency. Think of it kind of like teaching them how to swim instead of just endlessly trying to lock the pool gate. We're going to equip you with a really practical, care-centered approach called social media first aid.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The real social media problem. 2. Shifting from bans to skills. 3. Spotting harm and persuasive tactics. 4. Setting healthy digital boundaries. 5. Scripts for hard conversations. And finally, 6. Managing urgent digital crises. Let's just jump right in. Section 1. The real social media problem. Design, not discipline. Let's start by just validating your stress for a second. If you feel like you're totally losing the battle with your teen's phone, I really want you to hear this loud and clear. The struggles you're seeing are a result of powerful product design. They are not a parenting failure. This isn't about weak kids or bad rules in your house. You can literally see exactly why this happens when we look at the vulnerable teen brain compared to the standard social media engagement loop. The part of a teen's brain that craves rewards and peer approval, well, that is fully active. But the part that controls impulses and self-regulation, that's still heavily under construction. And on the flip side, you have algorithms actively serving up this incredibly personalized, emotionally intense content. They use infinite scrolls and variable rewards to keep you hooked. Honestly, it's like dropping a child in a casino and getting angry when they don't know when to cash out. This is a profound mismatch between a developing brain and technology that is literally engineered to capture and hold their attention. Okay, moving to section 2, shift from bans to skills, teaching digital agency. Because we're dealing with a fundamental design issue here, we need a totally new strategy. We have to shift the paradigm away from the old way of strict surveillance and outright device bans and move toward a harm reduction approach that actually teaches vital digital survival skills. I love this quote right here. Kids don't need tighter control, they need stronger skills. Simply yelling at them to just put the phone down totally ignores how these platforms actually work. I mean, let's be real, even adults struggle to resist these systems. So expecting your teen to fully protect themselves through sheer willpower is just unrealistic. And instead of taking the environment away completely, which, by the way, usually just drives the behavior underground and cuts off their entire social lifeline, we really need to focus on building their digital agency. Agency is simply their ability to actually notice how social media affects them and then make intentional choices, rather than just reacting on autopilot. Section 3. Spotting harm and persuasive tactics. To build that sense of agency, we first have to teach them how to actually see the trap. So let's look at a practical toolkit you can use to help them spot distress signals and the exact persuasive tactics these apps use. These 4 steps are the core mechanics of social media first aid. It's essentially a mental checklist to help your teen move from reacting automatically to responding intentionally. First up, they need to notice their emotions. Like, are they suddenly feeling super anxious or jealous? Second, and this is absolutely crucial, pause. Just stop scrolling for 1 second. Third, question what the post is actually trying to make them feel. And finally, reframe the message, keeping in mind that they're probably only seeing highly curated highlight reel. As a parent, you can help by asking reflective questions. Something like, hey, what emotion do you think this post is trying to trigger in you right now? You can actually coach your teen to spot these specific persuasive algorithms so they realize when their attention is literally being hijacked. Take reward, for example. When a teen feels incredible peer pressure to keep up a Snapchat streak just because everyone else is doing it, that's not just a fun little game. That's a calculated app mechanic offering a dopamine boost. Or what about automaticity? Those bright red notification bubbles designed to create total urgency. By pointing these out, you pull back the curtain for them. Suddenly, it's not, oh, everyone is having fun without me. Instead, it's, oh, the app is using a disruption tactic to keep me scrolling. All right, section 4, setting healthy digital boundaries. Let's talk about how this all builds into setting actual boundaries, but doing it without punishing the teen or resorting to full digital abstinence. Because look, if we understand the mechanics, we can interrupt them. Check out these targeted checklists. By doing an app-specific lightning round with your teen, you can help them create really natural stopping points. So, on Snapchat, this might look like deliberately turning off those streak reminders so they don't feel forced to send a photo every day.
On TikTok, it might be disabling the video autoplay so they don't fall into a 3-hour loop of endless videos. Think of these kind of like putting physical safety guards on your household appliances. You aren't taking the blender away, you're just making it a lot safer to operate. Actually, one parent recently shared a great story where they sat down with their daughter and together they negotiated turning off TikTok's autoplay. It instantly reduced her late night scrolling, and there was no fight because it was a shared decision, not a ban. So, the crucial takeaway here is using this concept, the triple conscious theory, to address their psychological boundaries. This is all about helping your teen recognize when their online highlight reel persona is creating severe comparison stress or making them feel totally inauthentic. If a teen is constantly comparing their everyday, regular private self to the heavily filtered, idealized images they see on their feed, it causes massive psychological strain. Talk to them about this. Ask them directly, does the person you feel like you have to be online actually match who you are in real life? Section 5, Scripts for Hard Conversations. Now, obviously, even with the absolute best boundaries in place, things are going to go wrong, someone will leave a mean comment, or your child is going to feel left out. As a parent, trying to step into the supportive tone of a family therapist can be really tricky, especially when your own protective mama bear or papa bear instincts are flaring up. So let's look at some very direct communication scripts. Notice the really strong contrast here. Imagine a scenario where your teen comes to you in tears because they were just excluded from a group chat. If your immediate reaction is, well, I told you that app was garbage, just log off, you are minimizing their pain and frankly blaming them. And guess what? They will probably never bring an issue to you again. But if you validate them without trying to instantly fix it by saying something like, thank you so much for telling me, that sounds really hard and I am right here for you, you keep that communication wide open. Empathy absolutely must come before lectures, every time. And the best part is, you don't have to wait for a total disaster to practice this. Integrating a daily conversation starter that's as simple as, hey, how is this making you feel right now, models that critical pause step we talked about earlier, and it does it without making you act like a spy. If they look irritable after being on their phone, just gently name the pattern. Say, hey, it looks like you're kind of stuck scrolling. Do you want to take a quick break together? You're basically helping them do emotional triage in real time. Finally, Section 6. Managing urgent digital crises. We have to establish clear, completely non-negotiable steps for the absolute worst-case scenarios. Just like you have an escape plan for a physical emergency like a house fire, you need a plan for when your teen's digital safety is actively compromised. These are the top 3 immediate actions for a severe crisis. If there are threats of violence, thoughts of self-harm, or predatory behavior from strangers online, the situation has officially escalated way beyond a teaching moment. Please do not try to manage acute safety issues alone. Dial 911 or the 988 Crisis Lifeline immediately. This is the ultimate boundary, and your teen needs to know these exact steps by heart. To support that, I highly, highly recommend keeping this specific checklist totally visible in your home. Maybe stick it right on the fridge. It outlines exactly when a teen needs to loop in an adult, if social media is messing with their sleep, if they see someone else getting bullied, or if a stranger asks for pictures. Having it out in the open reinforces the message that asking for help is a remarkably smart move and absolutely not a sign of weakness. So I want to leave you with this question to reflect on. How will you respond the next time social media causes distress in your home? Remember, social media harm is not a parenting failure, but taking the time to build these digital first aid skills, that is exactly how you help your child reclaim their digital agency. Are you going to react with panic and strict bans, or will you respond with curiosity, a well-timed pause, and intentional support? The choice you make right now sets the tone for their digital well-being for years to come. Start small, keep the conversation open, and remember, you definitely don't have to be a tech expert to be exactly the guide your teen needs.